Hi, and welcome to the Riverty showcase for Atlassian Unleashed. My name is Andrei Tuch, and I'm the Atlassian team manager for Riverty, which is a financial service company here in Europe. And the solution that we built for Atlassian Unleashed, and to demonstrate here, the solution that we built for ourselves and are demonstrating at Atlassian Unleashed is the continuous improvement with Jira software and Jira service management. So the solution is known internally as the process excellence solution. The point of it was implementing a cross-functional initiative for operational improvement in Jira. And in more details, the point of it was to help our business team and encode a business process, a very complicated business process that they had in Jira, and give them a solution to automate away a lot of the manual work that they had been doing. So what did we need to build when we started out with creating this solution? The Process Excellence Initiative in Riverty was something that was created to work across the entire company. Now, Riverty is a big European company working across many countries, many offices, many business lines. In general, Riverty wants to be the most human-centric fintech. That is our slogan, that is our vision. And it wants to be human-centric not only to its customers, but also to its employees. Of course, it is an IT company, and as such, these days, its employees are some of its core assets and core capital, and it needs to make its employees happy and make them effective and productive. So, of course, being human-centric means also being efficient and productive in operations and improving our processes and make sure that we are productive in our everyday work. So the Process Excellence Initiative was started by the Center of Excellence for Operations, a big division, cross-functional division within Riverty. And the idea of it was to save money across the company by improving existing processes and soliciting and implementing ideas for changes. So gathering good ideas from people within the company whose job it was to have good ideas and improving things, but also from anyone who had anything that they thought was worth sharing. So there was a specific target to save a particular number across 2023 through improvements in process efficiency. So the number was in many millions of euros. The effort involved hundreds of stakeholders from multiple countries and divisions, about 9 countries, lots of divisions across the country. And initially, the set of ideas that was submitted and went through the initial review and was selected for implementation numbered about 400. So that is what we started with, about 400 individual ideas for process improvement. And all of this process, of course, needed to be tracked. So the program team needed to have a constant real-time overview of how far along each business unit was, each country was, each sub-team within the program was, how much money they expected to save, and how much money they managed to save in reality, because those are always different numbers. And what the cost-benefit ratio was. So we had about 400 improvement ideas, and we needed to weed out the ones that were easy wins, that were hard to implement and would not provide a lot of impact. Of course, we needed to track across that entire project of how close we are to getting to that magic number for the year. Maybe we can even go above that number. So before we started doing it in Atlassian tools, the initial set of ideas and the initial work of the project happened in Excel. And that was terrible. That was a shared Excel that the team was working in the browser and in Teams windows. And absolutely everybody hated it. So why did the program team choose to implement it in Jira specifically? The key thing was in-house competence. So, not only the competence that Riverty already had in-house, but also our team's willingness and readiness to customize Jira exactly to the requirements that were given to us. The Central Atlassian team, which I am currently the manager of, grew out of a small project within the company, within one of the offices of the company, and became a key provider of Atlassian as a service, so Jira, Confluence, and other products as a service, to teams who just wanted their own project or workspace, did not want to negotiate joining a server, joining somebody else's big instance that was already under somebody else's management and was ruled by their standards and their processes. So the Central Atlassian team was small, bold, and flexible, and we talked directly to our users. We didn't ask them what they wanted to happen in Jira, what they wanted to customize. We wanted to ask them what they are trying to accomplish, because we knew Jira and Atlassian tools better than they did. And what they were asking for was based on their understanding of what is possible and what Jira likes to work like. We knew that better than they did, and we knew where we could bend some of the hard limitations that they thought were present in Atlassian tools. So after implementing a few successful projects of increasing complexity, probably the biggest one before this one was switching an entire service desk, major service desk from Zendesk to Jira Service Management and encoding support processes, introducing escalations and lots of automation that encoded their business processes in Jira. So the word was out. You can ask the Central Atlassian team for anything, and we can probably make something very close to it happen. And so they asked us, and so we did. It took us weeks of iterations and needs discovery, specifically needs discovery, not requirements discovery. Needs and requirements were very different. And fine-tuning of what we actually were building for them. And finally, we produced a solution that in the showcase that we are presenting here is made up of two projects, a Jira software project called Process and an accompanying Jira Service Management project called Intake. So this was a solution that works from start to finish, where people can submit their ideas, get management feedback or approval, track the progress of their ideas and the ideas that they are working on, the improvements that they are working on, and measure the effectiveness of the outcome from month to month. The Center of Operations team could show how close they were getting to the magic number that they needed to reach for the year, hopefully even exceeding that number. So finally, here is what we built for them. The solution that we made consists of Jira software, Jira Service Management, Atlassian Analytics, for which we were one of the first pilot customers, and a lot of automation. The heart of the process excellence is a Jira software project that we customized to hell and back. The initiative for saving this magic amount of money for 2023 consists of a single epic. Now, there are other epics, there are other initiatives that are going on within the Process Excellence project and within the Center of Excellence for Operations in general, but they are outside the scope of this showcase. So this solution was a single epic, and each improvement, each of those 400 and so, was a child issue. So for each of them, key information was gathered initially in that Excel sheet that was refined by the program team to begin with before handing it over to us. And in the process of handing it over to us, it took a lot of iterations and a lot of CSV imports of progressively better refined data. And that information was stored in custom fields. So we created a number of custom fields for them, and a customized Kanban board that was designed around their requirements and how they wanted to work. So we created swim lanes, quick filters, other customizations, and we also produced a dashboard. The initial dashboard we produced was within Jira itself, Jira's native dashboard, but very quickly we ran into the limitations of what that dashboard could do and what we needed to present and the data manipulation that we needed to happen. So we rebuilt that dashboard in Atlassian Analytics. Now, unfortunately, Atlassian Analytics could not be part of the showcase, but in real life, it is there. So these are some of the data that we gathered and encoded in these improvements. So for each improvement idea, we have the country, we have a business unit, we have a process category, which is a kind of theoretical general classification, and we have the initial effort and initial benefit. Those were encoded in t-shirt sizes. So XS for extra small to XXL for extra, extra large. So we could build a matrix of what is easy to accomplish and what will give the best impact, and what is in the middle. For each of them, we also introduced a responsible owner who was not necessarily the reporter or the assignee, so different from either of those, and the quarter in which they would be delivered throughout 2023, possibly even throughout 2024. The team, the program team, and the management of Riverty that was involved in this process, they work directly in plans, advanced roadmaps, where they have an overview of the process Jira project alongside other Center of Excellence initiatives. But the ultimate goal that we were working to was to save a specific amount of money and to make sure that we could track the amount of money that was being saved and the amount of money that we were going for. We had to do math. It's also worth pointing out that this entire solution, as implemented in reality and as delivered here in this showcase, does not depend on any outside apps, does not depend on any plugins or add-ons, and is done entirely with native tools at the enterprise and premium levels. So here is how the process looks in a nutshell. The reporter, the person who submits the improvement idea, among other things, they provide their best guess about how much money this improvement will save over 2023 when creating the improvement idea. This is the initial efficiency value. This is a number custom field. As work on the improvement progresses through subtasks or linked issues or team's own projects, so this is not limited to just the process project. We can have linked issues and dependency management to track the work into dev teams and operational teams and business teams' own projects elsewhere within our site. The assignee gradually increases the confidence percentage. Confidence percentage starts from 0 and goes up to 100%. How likely it is that this idea will be implemented fully and the initial estimation will in fact be reached. Through an automation that multiplies these two, this produces the adjusted efficiency value. All of these are summed up by another automation. So within each improvement, we have the adjusted efficiency value, that is initial efficiency multiplied by confidence percentage. And all of these are summed up, and the parent epic gets the total efficiency value. So the total amount of money that should be saved if we reach all of the improvements that we want to have. This is compared against the target set by the company's leadership. Now, all of these numbers are visible in a master plan, so advanced roadmaps plan, where the stakeholders can work directly, updating the numbers for their own task in a team meeting. And if you go to our showcase site, our showcase instance, there you can see how that looks in real life. So this is an example of that. You can see this is a plan. So the process improvement here, the total efficiency value, about 9.5 million euros. For each improvement within that epic, you can see the initial efficiency value and the confidence that that will be achieved. And so the adjusted efficiencies are multiplied by that and give us the specific number that we want for each of those. So beyond that, we also had to do more math and more automations as well. Because the improvement gets done, gets finished, gets implemented, but then we have to find out not just how much we thought we would save with that improvement, but how much we are actually saving in real life. So when an assignee finishes work on the improvement, an improvement is a custom issue type that we created specifically for this project, it gets verified by the Center of Excellence team. Once they are confident that the efficiency value makes sense, because efficiency value can be adjusted, and then the improvement transitions to implemented status, so custom status for us. When that happens, a few automation rules fire. The first one creates a subtask for the analysts, which is a special group within the Center of Excellence team. Here the analysts will define a particular method for calculating the actual savings generated by that improvement. Because first they have to think about how to come up with a realistic number that makes sense. Then at 9 a.m. on the first day of each month, a scheduled automation will generate a subtask, custom subtask type called measurement. And that will happen for each implemented value, each implemented improvement. In that, an analyst will use the define method from the first subtask, calculate the real savings over the previous month, and then input the result into the actual implemented value custom field. This is another custom field of number type that exists in measurements. When that field is updated, another automation rule will sum up all the measurements for that improvement, so all of its child tasks, subtasks of the measurement type, and that will write the result of that sum into the parent improvement's actual implemented value field. So this happens every month. Every month they calculate for the previous just completed month. And every time they update one, all of the values are summed up. And so the relevant number gets added to the improvement. Then an automation will sum up the values for all implemented improvements and write that result from all the individual processes into the epic, into the parent task for parent epic for tracking the entire project. So there, the actual implemented value is what we see compared against the total efficiency value that we thought we would get if everything was implemented, and the target value that is the target that we want to get. So we have three numbers: the target, the total, what we think we will save, and what the analysts tell us we actually have saved. So compared to the target value. In addition to this math-heavy automation and math-heavy solution, we also created a decision and approval process, because what we found is that in the course of this big process and big effort for improving a lot of our processes, we needed to get a lot of decisions from management, and we needed to get a lot of approvals for things that we wanted to get done. So for this, we created a Jira Service Management companion portal and project. The reason we needed to drop this into Jira Service Management rather than keeping it as part of our Jira software project, maybe in a different workflow on a different issue type, was that we needed to hook into the JSM approval functionality. So the reason why we did that was to make the portal also convenient for anybody in Riverty to submit an idea from. So this portal is not public, but we have configured the permissions so that anybody with a Riverty address, anybody who is in our Azure Active Directory, can access that project. So we're synchronizing user groups from Azure Active Directory to do that. And of course, we also have this approval step functionality in the workflow. And as a bonus, it became a useful way to ask for a quick yes/no. And the image here in the center. So these are shortcuts that exist in the process project, in our Jira software project. And they take advantage of the fact that we can use emojis and quickly turn them into icons in the sidebar of a Jira software project. And they have direct access to the advanced roadmaps plan, to the request a decision or suggest an improvement pages in the portal, so those request forms, and also to a advanced search filter. So this is a direct link to my pending approvals, which uses a particular smart value in JQL to show each manager, each person involved with approving, a list of tickets that are waiting for their approval. So thank you very much. I'm Andrei. You can use that little QR code to find me on LinkedIn and talk to me about what is going on here, what we built, and how you can build something like that for yourself. Always happy to provide some advice and maybe get to know your weirdest automation hacks. So feel free to contact me on LinkedIn and share the weirdest things that you've done with your own Jira system. And thank you very much for the Atlassian Unleashed team for giving me this opportunity to present to the customer showcase.